Do you and your friends struggle with miscommunication over text message? If you answered yes to the previous question, you might want to stick around, and I can give you some tips to help. Here we have Sean and Paul. Watch what happens when these two friends try to make plans for the weekend.
Hey man, I was wondering if you wanted to come over and hang out with the boys before we go to the game Saturday.
No.
Okay, fine. We ain't want you to come anyway.
You see, in this instance, Paul may not have tried to been rude, but Sean had interpreted differently than how Paul might have meant it. I'm going to go over a few different ways to help you with your miscommunication problems. According to Amanda Mull from The Atlantic, calling your friends is much better in terms of communication. When calling your friends, it's usually going to go a lot more smoother.
Hey Paul, you want to come out and hang out with some of the guys before the game Saturday?
I'd love to, but I got some stuff going on. Thanks for the offer, though.
See how much better that was? But you might ask yourself, what if I'm not in a position where I can call somebody? According to psychologyworld.com, the use of emojis can help share your emotions and/or expressions. But the easiest way to fix this is to elaborate with your text, giving specific details, and giving social cues is probably the best. Our group decided to do a little bit of research by asking people ages 18 to 22 on where they struggle with communicating the most. 15 out of 20 said communicating with their elders is really hard since there's such a big age difference. As we all know, our grandparents didn't grow up with the same technology we did. We asked the same 20 people about how these miscommunication issues could be fixed. 18 out of 20 people said to just call them because there really aren't in many cases where they need to talk to their grandparents and can't just call them. These are some of the best tips and tricks we found from some credible online sources.
Calling is definitely a more accurate way to communicate things with someone. In an instance where you can't make a call to someone, communicating via text message is clearly the easiest way. According to an article by Harvard Business Review, the reason miscommunication happens so often is because of sloppy emailing. Keith Ferrazzi explains that some common problems in texting are bad grammar, spelling errors, and unfinished sentences. If we can fix these problems over text, recipients of text messages would not have to struggle to decipher the meaning behind someone's messages and have a possibility of misunderstanding it. This is up to the person sending the text to clearly communicate their statement. The person receiving a text should also hold themselves responsible for asking questions if they think they are misinterpreting a statement. They should be open-minded and not jump to a conclusion about someone's tonality in their message. Here are some examples of texts that would be interpreted badly if they had been spelled wrong, had bad grammar, or were not complete sentences. Miscommunication examples. Incorrect. I'm about to eat grandma.
Correct pronunciation. I'm about to eat, Grandma.
Incorrect. I love cooking my dogs and family.
Correct. I love cooking, my dogs, and my family.
Incorrect. Eat your dinner.
Correct. Eat your dinner.
This is a direct quote from Ryan Jenkins, and 50% of emails and text are misunderstood. But there's an easy way to change that. Why do people misinterpret so frequently? Humans have a tendency to assume the worst when the intent of communication isn't clear. Here are some statistics from Nick Morgan. People think others understand their messages 90% of the time, but the actual statistic is only 50%. Recipients of a two-word text such as nice job or great work interpret the message as sarcastic 60% of the time.
Hopefully you were able to learn something on how to fix your miscommunication via text issues.